Okay, so welcome back, and we're going to look at the main combat sequence now of 7 Days to the River Rhine. So we're going to start off, we'll assume that for a minute that the British player has rolled initiative, and we're going to start with Chieftain firing. So it's going to activate to take a shot at this T-72. Now it has got cover because it's going through the wall. So the Russian player has got an option. They can try and react. Now they would need to roll, because it's a vehicle that's obscured, 4 or more to activate. So we're going to try and do that. So the Russian player tries to activate 2. So they failed to activate. So they've effectively lost a token and put that on there, which is going to make it harder for it to react. So the British player decides he's going to just stay put and fire. So nice thing with 7 Days to the River Rhine, pretty much everything is line of sight. You don't have to worry past that. So looking at the data charts for a Chieftain Mark 5, its base to hit is 5. Now the modifiers that come in, there's very few of them. Has it moved this activation? This doesn't apply to infantry. No, that would be a -1 modifier. Firing a target that's moving, it isn't, so that's not modified. Is the unit obscured? Yes, so that's a -1. Are there any dismounted infantry nearby, because that affects vehicles? No, that doesn't apply. Firing at a range of under 12 inches for anti-tank? No, but if it wasn't. ATGMs can't fire it under 12. And for each morale token on there, well, there hasn't any at the minute. So we've just got the 1 modifier to hit then. So instead of needing the 5, we need to roll 6 or more to hit. 10, so it's hit. So we now roll the penetration. Now the Chieftain Mark 5's got a weapon value of 10, so we roll a 10-sided dice and add 10. And the T-72A has got a front armour of 15s, because it is going to be the front armour working corner to corner. So 10 plus 15, so it's actually equalled the Russians' tokens, which means which means that the Russian tank goes all the way up to its armour value, which is 5. So that has basically really hit that tank badly. So that was NATO's first action. The initiative is still with NATO. So what we'll do, we'll fire the ATGM at it this time. Now we'll just check it's within range. Yeah, it's still going to have a little bit of cover. So it will be nice, and we'll give it to the Russian player who needs it at the minute. Now ATGMs are usually really good to hit, and this is a 4+. So it needs 4 or more to hit. Now I could try and react, but because of all the morale tokens and everything, it's very unlikely it'll manage that. So the Russian player decides he's probably going to lose it. It's not a lot to do with it. So it's a base 4 to hit. Will be nice because of the cover 5. And remember, this takes both of the actions. 5. So it has hit. Okay. Now let's see what it does. The swing fire, which the 438 is armed with, has got a strike value of 11H. Now because it's hitting a special armour, it's a heat type weapon, you roll 2 10-sided dice and choose the lowest. So 12, 15. Well, that's enough to have equalled it, which, because it's already equal to its morale value, it gets another 1 and it dies. However, if it hadn't equalled it hadn't penetrated, it would still have got 1 morale token, because the way it works is you roll based on could it have penetrated. If it couldn't have penetrated, it doesn't do anything. If it could have penetrated but didn't, it inflicts 1 morale hit. And now we need to see what happens to it. This is the destruction table. So normally 1 to 4 it's destroyed, that's all that happens to it. 5 to 6 it's what's called a kaboom, which is a spectacular explosion. But Russian tanks and light vehicles add 1. So 2 plus 1, 3. That's still the foom. So the T-72 is destroyed, and the Russian player will lose one command token now for the following turn. So NATO player at this point thinks, I think I've done everything I want to do. I'm going to pass over to the Russian player. So the Russian player decides he's going to activate the T-72 to move and fire. And you can see there's a very nice little target there, the scimitar. Now, British player knows the odds on surviving a hit with that thing are next to nil. So he's going to try and react. And because it's a recce vehicle, it's 3 plus the number of activations already. So you need to roll 3 or more. Normally, because it's an obscure target behind the hedge, it would have been a 4 or more. So let's see if he makes it. No, he doesn't. That may be very bad news. So the T-72 is a fast tank, so it's actually going to get up to almost point blank range and fire, because if it gets that close I don't think we can really count the wall as cover. So T-72A's hit chance is a 5, 1. So it didn't kill it. Okay, it's missed. So Russian player decides to activate again. What we'll do this time is bring the PT-76. We're going to do a move and fire. So the PT-76 moves up using a bit of the building as cover and takes a shot at the scimitar as well. Scimitar's going to try and react again. So normally it would be, because it's a recce, normally it would be 4, but because it's a recce 3, but it's got 1 on it, so we add 1, so we need 4 or more to react. 2. It's not very observant, this scimitar. So the PT-76 gets to shoot, and a PT-76 has got a hit value of 6. It's moved, however, 7, and cover 8. 6, so it's missed. So the Russians only got a couple of tokens left. It's going to pass back to the British player. British player is going to activate this Centurion to move, Centurion Chieftain to move forward and take a shot at the T-72. T-72 will try and react. 3. Now if that had been a recce vehicle it would normally have succeeded. It isn't, and it's also got 1 on which has stopped it. So the Chieftain can move and fire. So base chance to hit with the Chieftain was 5. It's moved 6, but there's now no cover. 6, so that's a hit. So the Chieftain, with its strike value of 10, 15, okay, which is the T-72's front armour, so that goes straight up to 5. Still with the British player, and the British player decides what he's going to do is use the swing fire launcher on the 438 to try and take out the PT-76 because the wood is blocking. So 4 plus would be generous and give it cover because you've got the building there as well. 9, so that's a hit. Now this doesn't have any special armour. This is not going to be good from the Russian perspective. The 438 has got a strike value of 11, whereas the PT-76 has got a front armour of 11. So anything 1 or more has destroyed it, and I think that's destroyed it. So let's see how big a bang it was. 3. Even with the +1, that is still only a small explosion, so it doesn't inflict any extra morale tokens on anybody nearby. And that leaves the Russian player to go. He's only got 1 token left, so what we're going to do with that one is try a morale removal, I think. 2, so let's remove 1 token. I don't think that's going to be enough to save that next turn. I think that's going to get hit very quickly. But you can see it's a very quick, simple system. But the only thing that I haven't really mentioned is for the vehicle firing is we haven't actually had a situation where someone's tried to react and rolled a 6. If you roll a 6 when you try and react, not only do you react, you also get the chance to take over the enemy turn. So you get the initiative back. Let's try an example for a minute. Let's say, just go back a second to this. Let's say the PT-76 had managed to react to the swing fire. So the way it now works is the reacting unit gets to do an action. The other unit gets to do both of its actions, and then the reacting unit gets its second action. And what it's going to do here is a very simple back straight up. So it backs up out of sight. The missile now has got no target. If there was something nearby, you can roll to redirect it onto them. But in this case there isn't. So it's missed. That reaction is a very good way to try and keep yourself alive. And recce units, with the exception of this one, usually do quite well at that because they get the opportunity to step back and get out of there very quickly. So that's the vehicle combat. What we'll do next is, on the next video, is look at how infantry fit into things. See you soon for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click on the like button below so that I know what people like and I know what to make more of. Alternatively, if you've enjoyed it and think you'd like to see more, please click on the subscribe button. That way you get notified by YouTube whenever I bring out a new video. And you never know, there might be something in there that you hadn't considered, because I do cover a variety of things on the channel. And finally, if you have a little bit of cash going, I now have a Patreon account. I'm always looking for patrons because at the end of the day, let's be perfectly honest, it's a good way for me to get a little bit of money that will use to buy review items or to travel to museums and so on. I don't put a huge amount on that. At the minute, all we've got is one tier charging £1 a month, which just, as I said, helps cover my costs. See you soon.